welcome back to ONYX Pages. I'm Njeri. Thank you very much for watching this video. To those of you who are new to the channel, welcome to the ONYX Pages circle. I hope you enjoy your stay here. I hope you stay for a very long time. And to those of you who have watched for a while, thank you for coming back and having more conversation. This video is going to be a video in 3 movements. I went to Amsterdam a couple of weeks ago to participate in a conference, a very special conference. I was actually told about this conference by Nalo Hopkinson, who you know is my favorite author. She was one of the speakers at the conference, and it's called the Other Futures Conference. It's the first ever non-Western science fiction conference in the world, and it took place in Amsterdam. So it was an amazing time. I had so many wonderful conversations. I danced to some very interesting and wonderful and weird music.
Thank you.
I met really wonderful people. I learned about new ideas and new concepts. And I got to take a little day trip to Paris, where I got to meet Dee Dee of Brown Girl Reading, which was absolutely amazing. So it was a wonderful trip. I had an opportunity to spend some time with my dear friend in Amsterdam, which was also really amazing as well. So there are going to be 3 videos in this series because while I was at the conference, I had an opportunity to interview 3 people. The first is Jacque Njeri, who's a visual artist. The second is Nisi Shawl, who is a journalist and writer. And the third is Walida Imarisha, who is a professor and a writer and an Afrofuturist visionary. And I think actually all 3 of these people are Afrofuturist visionaries. And I want to share those interviews with you. So this is going to be the introduction to all 3 videos. And at the beginning of each video, I will tell you a little bit more about each person. So the first interview that I'm going to share with you is my interview with Jacque Njeri, and I'm going to read Jacque Njeri's bio. So you'll see, I hope that this is in focus. Oh, there we go. That's actually an example of her art. Okay, so visual art. So Jacque Njeri's, she's an artist, she's a graphic designer, and she's also a digital artist, a multimedia artist, I believe. And her work was in the art gallery of the space that the conference was held in. And this is the booklet of the conference. So it says, quote, "To have Africans and our rich cultural tapestry represented in ways we will still be satisfied with in this genre, we have to be the ones writing those narratives." In her series Maasai, spelled M-A-A-S-C-I, digital artist Jacque Njeri of Kenya fuses the rich aesthetics of the Maasai, once the largest tribe in East Africa, with space travel. From time immemorial, the Maasai have moved freely with their livestock between the borders of Nigeria and Tanzania. Njeri takes them further into the universe. So that is, that's the bio that was in the book, and I will show you some images from her work. I was introduced to Jacque Njeri's work last year, and I was just breathtaken by it, and still am. I hope to be able to have one of her pieces one day. And I had an opportunity to talk with her about what her work represents, and I also had an opportunity to listen to her on one of the panels. So I hope that you enjoy the interview with her. I have to apologize a little bit for the sound because it wasn't the best quality. So if it turns out that we can't hear her very well, then I will create subtitles for the interview. Okay, I hope that you enjoy it, and I look forward to your comments below. Bye. So first of all, thank you for actually making time. I appreciate it. When I first encountered your work on the internet, somebody was just sent out an article, and I looked at it and I thought, oh my gosh, this is exquisite. So I really thank you for creating the images, because they landed on me in a way that was really positive and expansive. But you know, as an artist, once you've created your work, it's out in the world. So, you know, my first question is, what did you hope to accomplish when you created the pieces that we now see downstairs? What was your goal?
That is that's a tough question. So I'll be honest, and I'll say that I was creating this work for the purpose of just creating a not everyday image or something that people don't see every day.
Mm-hmm.
First, it was for my own entertainment, but when I got into it, I started, like, I would have themes in my mind that I wanted to create for. Like, there are pieces that touch on women leadership, which I created at a time when we were going through an election period or campaign period. And I felt there was like very minimal representation of women in that space. So I wanted to create, I don't know, to communicate something about, you know, that. So yeah, at first it started as just something I wanted to do based on the name, because the name is really dope. So by and by, I just became more engrossed in sending out images as opposed to just creating something that looks nice or something that people are going to appreciate.
And has that changed
And
now
so
that you've seen what
the impact?
Yeah, the
Yes.
impact.
Of course, yeah, everything has changed. But I don't want it to change. I want to create for fun still. Because I feel the more you create for an audience, the more the true message you're going to send out is not accomplished. So I want to just keep doing things without any pressure whatsoever. Yes, I feel the need to create for a certain purpose, but I don't want that to be my guide. I want my guide to be my true essence. What I really feel is what I want to do, as opposed to this is what they want to see, so this is what I want to create. I want to create. Yeah.
So what is inspiring you right now? What do you want to create? Like what do you want to create? What do you want to protect?
First, I want to encourage female creators, female designers, female artists, female everything, female engineers, female leaders. That is my thing. Like, just go do it. Because I feel like I've met so many people who could do so much, but they refrain from it because it's considered as a gentleman's playground or something. Like what I do, I'm alone in the office with like 10 dudes. And I'm like, I don't see why this is happening. I've seen smarter women who could do this. So why are you not here? And it's because of the same thing. You feel like, oh, it's a dude's thing, so I'm not gonna do it. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Just wanna encourage more input creatively from women.
Do you have a favorite of your
Yeah, the female leadership one.
Mm-hmm.
And also I like to call it the indigo child,
mm-hmm.
which I feel is like my self-portrait in like without my form,
mm-hmm.
like outside of my form. I feel like because I consider myself a late bloomer, so I'm typically a child right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why that girl is just blossoming in like a wild, like I don't know, a tornado of stuff. Because I feel like everything that is happening to me just came to me so abruptly, and I have to like morph into the environment or just like find a way to, find my space. And that's Yeah, because I say this a lot, and I won't even lie. Like, I've been a designer, like, yeah, since uni. I have just been designing. I just do advertising, branding, and stuff like that. But I always knew I had a creative side to myself, and when I got the time to do it, then I just delved into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was the question?
That's perfect.
Okay.
I asked you what your favorite piece was.
Oh, that was my favorite piece.
And then you talked about why.
Yeah.
So right now, what we've seen downstairs are digitally created images that have been made into large prints that are now put on the wall that we're seeing. Is that the medium that you're wanting to explore more, or are there other kinds of media that you want to look at?
Yeah, so I've always avoided creating compositions by hand mostly. So I want to do that. I want to do paintings, and I also want to do photography.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to do artistic photography. I don't want to do anything that would be considered photography.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, in terms of what people do or term as photography, in terms of like landscape photography or portraiture, I want to do none of that. I don't even know what I want. I just know I want to do photos, but I don't know of what yet.
Mm-hmm. And so how, in your community, how has your work been taken up? How are people responding to it in your home?
In my home, like my house, or like in
both
Kenya?
In your home and in your community, however you define home and however you define community.
I'd say, well, considering the reception it gets, or like the interaction on social media. But then again, when it comes, I tried selling prints for a while, but it was so expensive. So I don't know if, like, for me, if I really like something, I go hard for it. Like, I'd buy anything I really like. So I'm not sure if it's just like social media likes, or like a personal, I don't know, a personal adventure or a personal experience with a print. Depending on what is considered, like, considering that those two parts of appreciation, I'd say very well in terms of social media, but in terms of like return, like making money out of it, no.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. I don't think people, but maybe it's also because of the economic power. I don't think people are at the point of buying personal artworks as yet. Or maybe it's my target audience.
Mm-hmm.
This is pretty
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Where can we buy prints of your work?
By order. I don't have a website or anything. I just make prints on order.
So people email you.
Yeah.
And then
I send it to them. Yeah.
Okay. I'll buy a print. For sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You came to this conference, we're in Amsterdam, and what would you like to see in terms of the conversations that have started here? What would you like to see in terms of them continuing?
I'd say I like more voices, because I think there's many of us, but very few of the many have the audience to showcase their work or their skill.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, someone asked me about it and asked if I'm gonna be here for the next year's festival, and I was like, I'd like to see someone else actually,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so more people, just
Mm-hmm.
different ideas. Yeah.
Cool. I don't have any more questions for you.
Okay, cool.
But I do have a lot of gratitude, because I know that a lot of people were really moved by the images that you created. When I uploaded them to the SOULar Powered Afrofuturism reading group, people were like, what is that? What is that? Who is that?
Sometimes I go back to this sometimes and I'm like, what did I just do?
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love the calm of them. Like, there's something about how peaceful some of the images are. Like, this is completely normal and natural. Like, it's normal and natural to have.
It's not aggressive at all.
No, but there is something aggressive about its impact, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's very passive aggressive.
It is. It is, right? Because it's just like, here are dark-skinned African people wearing what we would call traditional dress.
Yeah.
Interacting with technology, influencing the galaxies. And and this is completely normal. Like, this is what happens.
Yeah, like,
this is what happens.
I don't know if you were there at that time in the panel when Quincy asked about like me trying to change the conversation around Africa, and I'm like, no, I'm not trying to change it. Whatever you know or identify as Africa is what I'm gonna push to you, because then just you don't want to throw people into other dimensions or into other ideas of what I consider truly African. It's like me, I'm truly African, like basically, but I don't present myself as African. Or, so even within my circles, they're like, no, not African enough. And I'm like, what do you mean? I grew up here, I've been here, this is who I am. So there's that image that is considered African. So that is what I want to tap into if I'm going to send a message about Africa. Because I'm not going to come to your face to tell you, oh, we have skyscrapers. Well, you believe we have hats, but it's crazy. But we have hats as well, but it's not like the main thing.
In terms of your identity, how do you identify, like, in terms of place and home and cultural and racial identity?
Wow. I'd say, like, I'm a global citizen. But I know where my roots are. Let me rephrase that. I'd say I'm like a local citizen with a global mentality. Like I love to be receptive of everything around me and anyone around me. And I have nothing against Europe or the States or whatever part of the world. Like, there's so many questions. People ask me why, like, I don't live like here or in the States, because like most of my family is in the States, and I was just never interested. Like, and I don't know why, because I love it. I don't hate it. So I don't know. There's just something tying me back. So I'm like, I'll visit all those places, but I'm not gonna stay there. I don't know. Maybe I have a mission to accomplish or something. I don't know. So local citizen, like local mentality. Yeah. I don't even speak a lot of, like, I know local languages, but I don't speak it. But I understand it. I just don't want to constrain myself to one thing. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.